Lisa and Robyn are two fun friends diving deep into conversations where nothing is taboo. They believe in eating dessert before dinner and wearing the bikini. They're allergic to labels, authority, and cheap shoes. Currently, they're launching themselves through life being the good time, bold enough to take risks and inquisitively asking, what's next? They hail from New Hampshire, but they could be anywhere dressed in cute clothes. If they had to share a tombstone, it would read, "Curiosity killed these cats." Your hosts, Lisa and Robyn on the mic.
Welcome to Lisa and Robyn on the mic. You are listening on WSMN 1590 AM, 95.3 FM. You can watch, stream, and listen on WSMN.live as well as Facebook and YouTube. And we are here on a Friday special edition of Lisa and Robyn on the mic. We have the wonderful Dr. Najwa Holtzman in the studio. She is from Epic Medispa. She's a licensed doctor. And I came to her about 4 years ago through my sister-in-law when I was, complaining at the dinner table about how low my vitamin D was. And I had been trying to get my doctors to do something about my vitamin D because oral pills weren't working. I wasn't assimilating them. And I was just feeling terrible. I was constantly thinking I had rheumatoid arthritis. I was attributing everything to my low vitamin D levels. And she said, you should just go to my doctor. She'll just give you some shots. It's $27, at the time, here, just go and do this. So, and I went with my sister-in-law and I met Najwa, Dr. Najwa, and she was amazing. And not only did I get my shots, I started getting also vitamin C, all my B vitamin shots. I started getting them in shot form. And I would go once a week. And then it was like, oh, what else do you have going on in here? And she has this beautiful photo facial. And I'll have her explain the technology behind it. But it is literally plumps up all the fine lines and wrinkles and it rejuvenates you. And then I've had all kinds of fun little, projects done over there. And she is the only person I let do Botox. I did Botox on my forehead once.
I do remember that.
And while I did love my completely wrinkle-free forehead, I did notice all the other wrinkles a little bit more. And then I also thought, everyone told me how tired I looked all the time. And I think it was because my forehead didn't move, so I just kind of chickened out and I didn't do any more Botox. But I know that I do love the photofacial and I do love the other techniques. And so I do that. And I do feel like I probably look at least 5 or 7 years younger after going to her than going to her.
You have beautiful skin.
And so I want to welcome you into the studio, Najwa.
Thanks, Lisa. Thanks for the nice introductions. And I am so happy that I was able to help you.
Yes, I love it. And so, but she has so many other different options in her studio. And one of her most popular for the time being is Ozempic, right?
Yes, that's right.
Yes. So how do you work with people to determine if they're good candidates for Ozempic?
At Epic Med Spa and Weight Loss Clinic, we usually offer free consultation. We do head-to-toe consultations. They come in, we sit down, and we go over their medical history and all any chronic disease, any medications that could lead to have them gain weight. And we go over all their options and their goals, what they're looking for, how they want to look. It's not about the numbers. It's not like weighing 150 pounds better than weighing 200 pounds. It's just about your satisfaction with your weight, with your look, with your clothes size, and being healthy. So that's how we assess the need for discussing weight loss options. So the most common, most popular one recently since June 2022, has been the Ozempic. Well, we use the word Ozempic, but Ozempic is prescribed for diabetic patients.
Sure. Okay.
Then Wegovy was approved for weight loss. So both of them, technically, they are semaglutide. The generic name for them is semaglutide. The base medication in them is semaglutide. So we start talking about their options and see if they qualify for it. If that's something, we go over how it works, what the side effect, and find out if they qualify, they're interested in it. The other one came up on 2023, November of 2023, was the Zipbound. The same thing, it's a Monjaro, and that was prescribed for diabetic patients. Zipbound for weight loss medications, weight loss purposes. The generic name call it for Tirapazide. Same thing, the base medication in it, it's semaglutide. And they added another medications for diabetic patients to it, and it just lowered the side effect that people has with semaglutide. We go over their options, side effect. Both of them are weekly injections, and their option can do it in the office or they can do it over at their home as well. I like to monitor my patients and their results on a weekly basis if they live local. If not, they can take it home and they can meet with me once a month.
Do you do Zoom meetings or do you?
I do telehealth as well.
Telehealth, yep.
Yep. I do
So
not
what's-
charge for the office visit, neither the consultations, all are free.
Okay.
So, what is the length or the duration of time that people are on it?
It depends on the goal. So most people, they have a goal they want to reach. So if it's just have a little bit of an overweight, they want to lose this weight and they can stop when they lose their weight. What we set them up when they start the medication at the end is just a tool
Yeah, right.
for patient to use to do a lifestyle modifications. So as long as they taken this medication, could be a month, could be 2, could be 3, they are working toward their lifestyle changes. If they were able to do the lifestyle changes that require them and help them to lose the weight, they can stop anytime. If they go back and they increase and go back to their old habit, yes, it's a common sense. They will put the weight back on. And I go over this with them from day one. This is I'm talking about people who they have like a weight, little bit of overweight. People who they have a disease that called obesity. It is, technically, it's almost going to be lifetime. These people, they really, really need this medication for long, long, long time. Even if they have a gastric bypass. After the gastric bypass, they still need some tool to help them maintain the weight they lost during the gastric bypass. So semaglutide or tirapazide or what we call in Wegovy or Zepbound, that's a tool they probably gonna need it forever. I wouldn't know. I can't give you exact
I just didn't
time
know if
frame.
it was if it's something that you are that people prescribe and you're on it for a short period of time, or is it? Do you see a lot of people or have knowledge of a lot of people being on it for long term?
Yes, both.
Okay.
You can you prescribe for a short period of time, and for, as I said, for people who have a little bit of a weight that they want to lose, but people have a lot of weight or the disease that called obesity.
Yes.
They were born with it. Could be genetic. Could be they started gaining weight since they were kids. It runs in the family. So that's those people. They have a disease called obesity, and they definitely gonna need it for a lot longer time. Maybe lifetime. We don't know yet. There is a lot more studies that's been being done on this medication.
Yeah. So when before Ozempic even really popped up as really popular, you did have other tools for people to lose weight. What were some of the other options you had in your arsenal?
We prescribe medications. So if people are interested in medications, we do have all FDA approved medications, starting with number 1 as phentermine. Phentermine by itself, we can do casemia, which is phentermine plus topiramate, or we can
Is
do...
phentermine, is that the same thing as fen-phen? Remember back in the day there was a drug called fen-phen?
Believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe so. And then the Contrave is Wellbutrin and naltrexone. And also there is a compounded form of all 4 medication together in one capsule. It makes it a lot more powerful. So that's if we decided to go medication route. But also we have lipotropic. It's all vitamin and minerals, and those are more natural. It's a injection, so weekly injection. It does help suppress your appetite a little bit, and as well as melting fat. It does have one of the ingredient in it. It calls L-carnitine, and that helps fat melting. Some people actually do the Ozempic, the semaglutide, tirapazide with the lipotropic. The reason is that it gives them a lot more energy. It complements the loss of some of the calories, some of their food intake. So they will still be eating a lot less, but they will still be energetic.
Because I think that's what anyone who's ever been on a diet, when you're calorie restricted, it's that low energy that really is dragging, and then you're supposed to work out, but you're eating less
Yes.
calories. So that's another tool.
It's another option for them. If not, and they're not interested in the lipotropic, or for whatever reason they can't afford it, I always give them a complimentary vitamin B12 injection with semaglutide or tirapizide injections on a weekly basis, and they still get the energy.
You also have those cool sculpting those cool sculpting wands and stuff in your office. What are those?
So those another tool, I call it the body contouring. So you can use it for a weight loss if you don't want to go over any medication or any injectable. So the one of them is a radio frequency base technology. It melts fat, and you can see the result right away. I do have some pictures on my website to see it. And then we also have a sculpture. Sculpture, it's a diode lasers. It's a beams of laser go through the area that we are working at. It heats it to certain level temperature, and it starts melting the fat. This machine called Sculpture, it's made in Massachusetts. And it's a one treatment only, and it takes 25% of your fat in any locations in any area that it's bothering you. So you have two different options.
Yeah.
So does
that's
that
like for spot treatment,
I
right?
was going to say, does that help with cellulite?
The way also the radio frequency one, it does help the cellulite.
Oh.
Correct.
I'll make an appointment. I want that.
Yes.
Back in, I remember it was popular for a while. Cool sculpting was popular for a while. What do you think about cool sculpting?
I did look in this technology. First, I started looking for options for weight loss and body contouring. And I was not very encouraged to purchase and bring this machine to my spa because of the side effect. It does give you one of the side effect that it's very well known, and very unfortunately the cool sculpting company got lawsuit from one of the models, and they have to settle with her over this. So it does give you the cool sculpting freezes your fat cells. So if you end up gaining weight, the fat has to go somewhere else.
Oh.
And it is written on the consent form. Not many people understand it, but it happened to some people, but it is there in the consent form. Sculpture, it sends your body temperature. It heats you up to the certain temperature without ruining the fat cells. So the walls of the fat cells are still intact. We melt the fat inside the cells. So if you gain the weight, of course, the weight and the fat goes in the same cells. So you don't have that body dysmorphia.
Yeah. Okay. So,
So is that one of the side effects of the cool sculpting? Because I didn't know. It's dysmorphia?
yeah. So if you if you like get it done in your upper back or upper, some people have like above the bra.
Yes.
Well, now the fat cell, right, won't be able to absorb fat, so it will go all below. So you'll now make a
Oh.
It goes
bulge over
somewhere
here
else.
in a bulgy way,
Be all
possibly.
lumpy.
Yes, the possibility for lumpy.
Yes.
Which is bad enough being fat without now having
They
balls of tennis
pockets.
balls everywhere.
I've had a few patients who had a cool sculpting, and they asked me if I can work on the area of the body dysmorphia, like when the fat, the bra line that you mentioned. So one area was actually smaller than the other, or the machine slipped and give him that body dysmorphia, and we did it with the sculpture.
So with your sculpture, you can eradicate their dysmorphia, those...
Yep, you pick the area. You tell me where the area is that bothering you, and we will assess where this applicator is gonna go, and we will work on it. And it's after we put the applicator in your skin, it's a 25-minute only, one treatment. It takes 25% of your fat in that specific spot. You can do it as many times as you want if you decide to go back. Most of my patients, they had it once, and they were very happy.
Very cool.
How expensive is that?
The sculpture,
Yes.
usually for recurrent patients, especially who they work with me on a regular basis, or they come to see me for other services, it's per applicator. It's one applicator. It's a $250.
That's a great reason. That's a great price point.
Yeah.
Like,
And if you need like a area is a little bit bigger, you need two applicators. This is $500, but it does take 25% of the fat permanently.
wow.
All through melting.
Yeah,
We're like
start
heating
melting,
yeah, that's interesting. Do you have to drink a ton of water or anything after that to
Before
kind
and
of
after.
Before and after.
Before and after. Oh, everything we talked about. You
Yeah.
need a lot of water. Even if you are doing medications, you need to keep hydrated and make sure the fat is
Flushing.
flushing through your lymphatic system.
Okay. I have so many questions.
Well, I have a question. There has this, so on TikTok and Instagram, they have this little red light therapy wand thing. Is that a marketing tool, or is that helpful?
Red light therapy has been approved also for a lot of skin treatment, anti-aging. It does help as well.
But for the home use.
For home use,
I mean, is it going to be powerful enough? Or is it a gimmick?
yes, it depends on exactly where you buy it from, and it depends where it's made. I do have red light therapy in my office as well, but the one at home, it depends. If you're gonna go buy red light therapy for $10-20, I'm not sure how much that's gonna help. Right?
Yeah. So that's the one that
makes
it's
sense?
trending
Yeah.
right now. That's the
Yes.
one that's trending right now, and I've caught it a couple of times. I'm like, ooh, because everybody's talking about their saggy neck and getting rid of it, and I was like, does that really work? Like, can it be powerful? Can they sell something legally powerful enough?
To just anybody.
Right.
Yeah, I do red light therapy in my business, in my office.
Yes, I've had the red light therapy healing when I had surgery.
Correct.
But doing it in an office is a lot different than doing the home. So
Because it's more powerful.
yes,
That's it. But I don't use it alone because everything I do, even skin tightening, we're just talking about the skin sagging, skin tightening. I have so many other tools for it. So if I add the red light therapy to it, it's just complement what I just did. The radio frequency skin tightening that Lisa was talking about, we did for Lisa when she was talking about the photofacial, which is at an IPL treatment. It's a skin rejuvenations. Then I did a skin tightening on her also as a radio frequency. So we alternate. One visit she comes, we'll do IPL photofacial, skin rejuvenation. And another visit will do the skin tightening, and that's when Lisa starts noticing and bragging about her skin and her lines, and show me a picture. Look, before I met you, look how I look today. Look at this line.
oh, I want to see a before
Yeah,
and after
I'll show you
because
a
you've
picture.
always looked beautiful to me. So I was like,
She is.
She's my big fan, though. That's because she's my fan. She doesn't know.
I want to get rid of my WTF lines right here.
And what is the best option for those? Is the skin tightening work well on those 11 lines on your forehead?
Number one, most client, they come for Botox when it comes to the we call him angry 11.
Yes.
But if they're not interested in the Botox, I always recommend to work on your skin. I love skin. I did have 1 year training in dermatology, and after med school right away. So I love skin, and I always recommend start working on your skin even before the Botox. And then you'll find yourself that you're gonna need actually a lot less Botox after you work on your skin. Between this, we can do the chemical peels, we can do the IPL photofacials, skin tightening, and then you have some own skincare at home. So you keep up with your skin, and then you come to me 2-3 months later, we'll do Botox, and you'll find yourself consuming a lot less Botox.
Ah, I like that. I did have it once. I actually did it twice, and it did get rid of this. But my daughter was like, "It makes your face look weird. It makes your eyes look like they're wider apart, or they're further apart, or something." She's like, it didn't look like you."
It depends where the Botox was injected.
Yeah.
We have 2 muscles in this area here. So if we just do this muscle alone, it will just take care of your lines here. If we add it to this muscle, it will raise your eyebrows a little bit.
Yeah, there's a whole science to it.
Yes.
Which that's why it's so important to go to somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yes.
Because it's your face. And it's the first thing we all see.
Don't get them on a Botox party for $10 a pop. Don't do that.
But what I loved about going to you is you were so excited about the ability to, turn back time with all of these different methods. You're never just only pushing one thing. You're always trying to complement with something else and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And you always talk about the lifestyle things you have to do on the back end. And I remember when you were interviewed by somebody, I think it was about Ozempic maybe, and they basically wrote this like ditch the gym. That she said ditch the gym and just come, and she said I did not say this. She said what I said was most people overestimate the amount of calories they burn in a gym, and they underestimate how many calories they eat, which was a completely different phrase than ditch the gym and use this.
Yeah, it was one of the magazine, and I told them I always encourage the gym, exercise. It's just even walking. It helps for anything and everything. You doing it alone for weight loss, that's what majority of people thinks. I go to the gym 7 days a week. I spend 3 hours at the gym. I'm still gaining weight. Yes, the gym by itself does not help you lose weight. You always have to complement it with your diet and your calorie intake. It's a simple math.
Yes.
How many calories you eat, how many calories you burn. You go to the gym and you burn 300 calories. As you walking out, they sell you a shake 500 calories. How are you going to lose weight?
Right.
You burn 300 calories, but they sold you 500 calories a shake.
Right.
You're not going to lose weight.
You're not creating a deficit.
No. So you still... A gym is still important, but
like
you still have to complement
I like
it.
how you do, beauty, beauty and weight. Like everything that you do it's focusing on the whole picture, on the whole body. And I said a lot of times, it seems like doctors, not
With insurance, they don't have time to even talk to you to hear what you have
it's
to
not
say.
about but holistic to me in my mind, a holistic doctor is like an old-fashioned physician, because we're not treating. A lot of times you go to the doctor for high cholesterol, they look at your numbers and they want to put you on a medication instead of saying, hey, wait, let's try adding 10 minutes of exercise, or let's try adding oatmeal in your diet, or let's do this or let's do that. It's not focused on, I don't feel like our healthcare is focused on the whole body. We're not proactive, we're reactive.
That's correct. I hear this all the time. I worked as a primary care as well, and I do what I do in my current business. Even as a primary care, when I deliver news, just as an example, what you just mentioned, a high cholesterol.
Yeah.
Your lab result came back, you have high cholesterols. If we have a criteria that we have to go through, we have actually a simple math we do. It tells us if you are a good candidate at this point to start you on medications or just lifestyle changes. And majority of time when I bring the medication up, patients said, can you please give me a chance to lower my cholesterol on my own without medications? And every medications almost had some side effect.
Right.
So I always give them 3 months. I said, and I go over diet and exercise with them, and I tell them to come back in 3 months and we'll repeat their blood test. And you'll be surprised. You'll be really surprised how many people they get back to their lower cholesterol or normal levels with just diet and exercise without any medications. So I mix in my primary care and in my current business, I mix both the holistic way and the medication. But I always give the patient a chance. I give the patient a choice. You have this option and you have these options. If I get a patient who's just going to continue going to Burger King and eat every day at Burger King because it's cheaper. Right?
He's like, just give me the medication.
Yes. No,
give it.
Yes. I'm not doing him really any good if I say, oh, go work on your lifestyle changes, when he just told me I eat Burger King, I'm on the road all day, I stop at Dunkin', I stop at Starbucks. So medications is almost really needed at this time. And, I'll trust him. I'll wait for him when he will be ready to do the changes, the lifestyle changes.
But that's what I hear. That's what I hear that I like about, I think that's more rare than it is. It's you are treating the whole body, the whole person, not just one thing.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Yeah. That's my missions. I treat patient inside out. Even the beauty. Beauty comes from inside. If you are eating healthy, if you are drinking water, if you're well hydrated, and you have a good night's sleep. Look at yourself in the mirror the next day and see the difference in your face
Yes.
and your attitude and your mood when you've done all the healthy
Yes.
parts.
Yes.
You had drinking alcohol, smoking, eating fatty food, and you're not sleeping well, you are up all night, you're not drinking enough water, how you feel and how you look. So beauty comes from inside out, and that's what I focus, and that's the reason I offer that free consultations, because I want people to know where I'm coming from when I give them my recommendation. You could walk in my office for Botox. You probably walk out without Botox because
Right.
I have other recommendations that gonna make you approach and obtain the result that you're looking for.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So how did you go from being a primary care into the spa, the Medi Spa?
I always was interested in the skin. As I said, I've done 1 year of residency in dermatology before I came to this country, actually, and I became primary care in this country. So skin was always my passion. I always loved skin. I was always about your look and your health. Overweight, underweight. It was always in my mind all these years until now. Even with the medication or without medication, I tell people eating 6 meals a day make you lose weight. Eating 1 meal a day make you gain weight. And they tell me they don't understand how is that possible? And I explain it to them. I said, oh, that makes sense. So it always about
Explain it to everybody.
Yes, yes.
Because I don't think everyone understands, because all of this intermittent fasting and having less and less hours of eating has become the popular trend. And I think people lose weight at first, but then they gain all the weight back. I was talking to a woman on the plane, and she, hasn't had carbs in 2 years, and she lost 70 pounds, but she hasn't lost any weight since like February.
Yep.
And I was telling her I had read that all the studies that were done on intermittent fasting were done on men, athlete men. So they don't really understand how women hormones in long periods of fasting are actually really even working.
So definitely, intermittent fasting can make you lose weight, and then when you go back to what you gain, same thing. Any kind of diet. I don't want to just pick one single diet.
Right.
As soon as you say I'm dieting, you do know if you follow that the science behind it, you follow it the right way, the way the research showed, you lose the weight. But it's not sustainable. As soon as you go back and you eat the normal food, that's when you put the weight back on, and that's what I see every single day in my life. That's what people come to me and said, I lost the weight. I know I have the yo-yo diet. I lost 50 pounds and I put 70 pounds on. As soon as I got off this diet, I put more weight than how much I lost. That's what I tell the patient when they come to see me. I don't put anybody on a diet. You do not even say to yourself, I am dieting. You still have to eat. No matter what medication you're doing, or if you want to do it in a natural way without medications, all what you have to do, you just have to eat different. You're going to eat 3 meals a day and 2 snacks. I would love if patient focus make their lunchtime their biggest meal, their main meal, instead of the dinner time, because they have more time to burn the calories that they ate at lunch and make the dinner time a lighter meal. Some people lifestyle allow them to do so, others don't. But then I always say make sure your meal is low calories, 3 of them, and you have snacks in between. Just by doing this, and that when I tell people, they tell me it makes sense. Just by eating the way we are, 3 meals a day and 2 snacks, 2 things happening. Your metabolism is moving, it's active. When you eat 1 meal a day, your metabolism is shut down. Your body sits and wait for that meal, that food to come. When the food comes, holds on it, doesn't burn it, because your body is saying, I don't know when I'm going to have more food.
Right.
That's the reason they say they gain weight, because they're really not burning anymore. Eating 3 meals a day, 2 snacks, your metabolism is moving. And people tell me, oh my God, I feel hungry all day. Yes, because your metabolism is moving. You're burning food. And it becomes healthier. Your blood sugar is stable. You don't have that spikes and down. So that's why even if you decided semaglutide, tirapizide, the phentermine, any medications, you have to eat with anything. But at the end, we need to make sure you're not overdoing it with calories. So you have to
Eating
eat
the
how
right
much your
foods.
calories need. I don't have a set number because everybody's body need a certain number of calories. When you lose a weight, your body need less calories. So you start getting a little bit more, and you are still happy with the energy, and your stomach shrinks as well with eating a lot less. If you try to eat a little bit more, if you try to eat bigger meal, you'll feel like lightheaded. You'll feel like, wow, I just want to go to sleep because you dumped food in your body that your body doesn't want anymore. And I've had people, they said, I did it and you were right, and I would never do it again.
So how do those drugs like Ozempic work? Do they slow down?
They work on your stomach directly.
Okay.
Yes. So they slow down the emptying of your stomach, and they slow down and they make you feel full faster. And also it's trigger your pancreas to produce insulin. That's another reason when I say when you start this medication, you still have to eat 3 meals a day and snack, because your pancreas is producing insulin, and we need sugar to make sure the insulin is working in your stomach and your blood sugar doesn't drop and you'll have hypoglycemic episode. So I stress on that from day one. When people start on it, you have to eat 1 meal a day. It's not going to work with these medications. This medication slows emptying of your stomach, so you have your meal as a regular whatever you were eating before the medications, and you find yourself getting full faster. You just stop because you're gonna eat again. You're still gonna eat again. So you'll be able to eat, but you are eating smaller portions. And then we focus more when under supervisions. Let's talk about what are you eating? Where are you getting your calories from? We need 70% protein in your diet every day, 15% carb, 15% fat. And your body is happy and you are happy and no hypoglycemic episode. What that led me, Lisa, to say, when we say it slows down emptying of your stomach, it's going to also slow down your intestine. So I always recommend to patients to start focusing on their bowel movement. We do not want the constipation to happen, or some other people, they call it gastroparesis. This is one of the main side effects that people has been complaining about.
So is that when they are feeling nauseous because they're not really going to the bathroom, so they're not emptying their stomach out, or is the nausea coming from being full and maybe eating too much food?
The nausea is another side effect. It's different than the other. They could be related. They could cause it, that being not having a bowel movement, constipated, it can cause you nausea, but that's the main reason. It's the medication itself. It's working in your stomach directly. But if you are eating, if your stomach is not empty, the nausea is not as bad.
Okay.
It is a lot less reported with Zepbound or the Tirapazide. People who they are on it, they're not feeling as nauseous. But with the semaglutide or the Wegovy, Ozempic, the nausea is one of the side effects, but also we focus on it from day one. I help patients help them how they take care of it. Most people say it wasn't that bad. As soon as I had some water, it was gone. I had a piece of crackers, it was gone. It's a side effect on top of the constipation. Constipation is more
a concern
to me as the providers, patient having constipations than the nausea. Nausea has not been a problem.
So for the 15% of carbohydrates you are eating, they have to be vegetables if you're eating 70%. Yeah. Okay.
No chips.
No chips.
You can eat anything you want with this. Anything you want, but you just have to be mindful of how many calories in it. You're not going to grab a bag of chips and eat the whole bag of chips, which is, here you go, you really wasted your calorie on chips when you could go and have a piece of fish or a piece of steak and use the calorie in a healthier options. You can. A choice that you make is you can still lose weight, but is that something we want? Because we're trying to lose weight, but we are trying still also to be healthy.
Yes.
Right, because weight is somewhat a symptom of how healthy you are, but you can be 10 pounds overweight and be healthier than be, 10 pounds underweight.
Correct.
And unhealthy if you're eating nothing but chips and pizza. And then, you can have 10 pounds of extra weight, but you ate broccoli and something, you just ate more of it.
Yes.
Ate too much broccoli. I know a lot of people aren't getting fat in broccoli. I'm well aware. Tomatoes and broccoli aren't the problem. I remember way back when the low carb thing was all of the rage, And people in the cookbooks were saying, don't forget only a half a cup of broccoli, measure your broccoli. You don't want to waste carbs on and it's like, who's fat on broccoli?
Right. Who gets fat on broccoli?
No one's eating broccoli to excess. There's only so much of that you can eat. You're not overeating your broccoli,
Unless
I
you're
promise.
just putting a lot of cheese on it.
Exactly.
Maybe.
Yes. Bombard it with cheese and.
What are some of the other side effects of Ozempic that we should look out for?
People who they do have pre-existing conditions of acid reflux, it could make the acid reflux symptoms a little bit worse because again, it's slowing emptying of your stomach, so the food is sitting in your stomach a little bit more. If you lie down, if you eat more spicy food, it can be more prominent than before you started it. I have some people, they reported some burping. Again, will be probably related to the food they ate with the medications. So some of the side effect also, it's not the medication itself, is what you eat when you are on the medications.
Are there any foods to avoid when you're on Ozempic?
A lot of people reported they felt that they can't eat fried food. Like they go to eat, I couldn't even eat fried chickens. That's number one. Chinese food as well. They felt, it was too fatty. I couldn't eat it. It just really upset my stomach. But also it's affecting alcohol intake. A lot of people say they cannot drink on these medications or they don't enjoy it anymore. It doesn't taste as good. But the good number of them, they said, I don't even think about it anymore.
That's
I
awesome.
drive by liquor store. I don't even look at it anymore. There is a research has been done right now on using these medications for alcohol cessations and actually smoking cessation.
Wow.
Yes, they have not approved it yet, but I see it in my small office. I see it almost
see the difference?
100% of my patients. They all reported the same from week one. They come back and said, did anybody tell you that they couldn't drink? I said, yeah, I told you this is going to happen. Some people able to drink one. Majority of people, they said that seltzer water was like Truly's, High Noon.
Yeah.
They are able to stretch a can within an hour or so because it's a lot less alcohol. But hard alcohol, wine, it's hard with these medications.
Wow.
You can stretch it.
Does it make them feel sick or they just don't have
Yep.
the desire to? Wow.
Desire goes away. But again, let's say around Christmas time, a lot of events, Christmas parties, weddings, and people, either they forgot that they took the medications or so they try and they come back and tell me, oh my God, I got really sick. I had
That's
the first
awesome.
one, I was fine. The second one, I felt sick.
Wow. That's awesome.
I wonder if that also has something to do with the pancreas and the insulin level.
I believe it works directly on the brain.
Okay.
So that craving center, because we are working that stomach getting full, sending signal to your brain, affect the hunger
Yep.
feeling. So that's when you get it also for alcohol and smoking, because that's where all the craving,
Oh, and the
recep-
brain exit.
all
yeah.
the craving receptors are on the brain.
Wow.
Oh,
That's-
interesting.
yes.
So the medication semaglutide teriparatide takes the craving away, and by working this way, so we just gonna say what the research when it comes out about the alcohol and about the smoking.
Wow. That's fascinating.
Yeah. So we were listening to a podcast. Joe Rogan was mentioned Annie Jacobson.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Annie Jacobson that they were talking about, the Ozempic? And it said he was projecting 30% of all of 30% of the
population.
population will be on it by the time in 5 years.
I'm projecting more, a lot more than that.
So it's like a miracle. It's like a miracle drug.
This is probably the best we've had
Does
ever. We haven't had anything that powerful.
Does it have any effect if it was approved? I mean, if it was originally for diabetic people, if you don't, or if you're taking it, I'm trying to figure out how to say it. If you take it and you don't have diabetes, is there a chance of it messing your body up, messing your insulin, your system up, that you would become
No, actually, just 2 days ago, Eli Lilly, they just published a research that it's showing actually their medications not just helping people treat their diabetes or lose weight. It's actually preventing people who they have tendency to be diabetic in the future. Could be genetic, as I said. It's preventing from becoming diabetic.
Interesting.
Wow,
We
that
talk
is
about
good.
type 2 diabetes here, not
Yeah.
type 1, just type 2 diabetes. So if
Well, type 2 diabetes and weight issue, those two go hand in hand.
correct,
Right.
yes,
So,
correct.
if you can keep the weight down, the chance of getting type 2
Right.
diabetes
Didn't know if
goes
it
down.
messes with, if it throws your balance off, if it would put you at a risk if you were already predisposed.
Yeah, but think of like alcohol is all sugar. So
Yeah.
if you're really limiting that amount of sugar just from alcohol,
How much your weight or your diabetes can get under control.
Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
yeah, because one of the things when you're diabetic, you're not supposed to drink.
Right.
Interesting.
You're not supposed to do a lot
So
of it.
I had read recently an article came out in a men's health magazine about Ozempic, and then an article came out in a women's magazine about Ozempic, and they didn't talk about the same things at all. So the men's magazine talked about muscle loss. The thing you have to be the most concerned with Ozempic is muscle loss. And in the women's magazine, they talked about the fact that you don't want to get pregnant on Ozempic or within several months of taking Ozempic. Have you heard any research about that?
The muscle loss is possible. You're losing weight, you're losing fat, you're losing muscle, you're losing it everywhere. And that's when we go back to the gym. And the exercise. So you want to keep your muscles. You don't want to lose your muscles. Yes, you can. You just work out a little bit more and make sure. We
Strength
go back
training.
also to the protein. You have to have 70% protein. You're going to continue hydrating yourself, and then you can keep your muscles. That's when those people actually they look their skin also maintain the integrity when they are still working up and working out and hydrating themselves. So that's for the muscle. Is that the answer to one of the questions?
Yep.
For the pregnancy, it is actually there was this little bit of trend a few months ago. They call them Ozempic babies. There is a lot of people they getting actually pregnant while on the Ozempic. I had personally 2 patients who they got pregnant. One of them, she was very excited. She said, "I've been trying to get pregnant for 5 years."
Wow.
Yep. And so there is a couple of, think
Oh,
about it
yeah,
from the
does it-
science point of view. Number one, you lost weight. So your body is more equipped, more ready to get pregnant at this point. And also could be regulating your hormones. So if it's really affecting your pancreas and regulating your insulin and other hormone that is connected to it, could be one of the reasons. Do we want people to be on the Ozempic when pregnant? Absolutely not. There is no study that was done on pregnant women, but as soon as they find out they are pregnant, right away we stop it. We stop the medications. We can resume it after they done their pregnancy. But there is no research done on pregnant women and Ozempic or any other medications.
Yeah, because
We don't do research on
pregnant women.
pregnant women. We always let's be safe. Let's be more cautious. If you're trying to get pregnant, I would recommend not to be on it.
Yeah, because one of the women's articles said that it lowers the efficacy of the birth control pill.
Yes, correct, because it's affecting the emptying of your stomach.
Ah.
So the
That's
medication
how it
are
does
not
it.
getting absorbed. So you can get pregnant even if you are on oral birth control. We're
Yes.
talking about the oral birth control,
Yes.
just the oral, not the implant IUD or the Explanon. Those goes in your blood directly.
Oh, okay.
So yes, there is a chance if you are on oral birth control to get pregnant because it affects the absorption of your
Yeah.
birth control.
So if somebody is wanting to get on this medicine, you might want to consider using a different method of birth control than the birth control pill.
Correct.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it is good to know. Wow.
Because if you weren't expecting to be pregnant and you were actively trying not to get pregnant with the
Right.
birth control pill, that could be what? An unwanted side effect.
Yes.
Because usually you're not willy-nilly with the pill. It's an everyday.
Yeah, your kids are grown and gone, and they're married and having
Or financially, I wasn't expecting a whole nother.
gonna have a grandchild and a newborn at the same time.
I know some of those.
I do too. That's why I was like, no, not me.
And it's safe for how young do people consider Ozempic?
I believe they just approved it for the teenagers, if I'm not mistaken, like age 14, 15.
Okay.
They start, they recently that was
Interesting.
being approved. I'm not sure if it's been widely used yet.
Yeah, because I think, I always think back to like youth, right? Just youth. You have the
Yes.
best chance of being healthy and having a healthy weight and doing everything.
Yeah.
You have the most amount of energy you're ever going to have. It's us on the other side.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
needs all the help we can get.
I've had some young patients over because I am family practice, so I see all ages. So with this group, actually, I start from counseling, coaching, and counseling because that's probably all what they need at this point in their life, and talk to families, mom and dad, and who shops, who cooks, to surround them with healthy options, and they probably will never need medications if they start at young age.
Right.
So teaching them how to eat, it's just really more helpful than medication at this age.
Really just learning to take care of our bodies. You in health class, like I think about high school, middle, they had the pyramid, the triangle, and now we found out that that's all wrong. And
Right, flip that pyramid upside down.
They flipped it, yeah.
yeah, but they don't give you options. You're not a kid thinking about, I got to make meals for myself, or you don't think about making meals for yourself. But we don't actually take our youth through like what eating healthy looks like and giving options, different kinds of options. Because I think about vegetables and fish and.
Well, I think for so many years we were the loudest voices are the ones that don't eat beef, don't milk does a body good.
Right.
Well, more people have milk allergies than almost any other kind of allergy, it feels like.
Yeah.
But milk does a body good. Like all of this advertising and all of these different
Marketers.
advocate groups about what we should be eating, it's hard to know what to eat. When you tell someone a little older than us that people have gluten allergies, they don't believe it at all. Like they actually believe it can't be a thing.
Right.
Yeah, and think about the peanuts allergies too.
Yeah, that didn't used to exist 50 years
Didn't
ago.
exist, yeah.
And now everyone's allergic to
Yeah.
peanuts.
Well, so I have twins, and when they were preemies, their doctor had said to me, when they got to the point of building up their immune system, they were 8 weeks early. He was 2 pounds. She was 4 pounds. They came home. He was weighing right at 3 pounds when he came home. So we were going back and forth to the doctors, doing weight checks, and they were born before they could regulate their body temperature. And she was telling me, just keeping them out of the general public. And when they got to the point, I think they hit 10 pounds, and she'd said to me, now what I want you to start doing is I want you to get rid of all your antimicrobial dish soap. Don't use hands, like rinse their hands off, but like if they're playing in their yard, rinse their hands off. Start exposing them to some germs around the house, because I literally would take the Lysol wipes everywhere I went. I'd wipe underneath the table, because that's the first place the kids go and grab, right there, and pull up to it. The tray at the airliner, the armrest, everything, used to wipe everything down and just like sterilize it before okay, now you guys can go. And then she's like, okay, yeah, let them eat dirt, So she was teaching me, but she had this theory, and she was actually doing a thesis on a study on it, where she was saying that all these allergies have come up. We might have had a resistance to it, but using all the antimicrobial, we're washing all of the good bacteria off of our hands too. And now we've done it for such a long period that now we're getting pregnant, and we're passing our weakened immune system on to babies, and so whereas we might have had sensitivities to it, now they're full-blown allergies. So that was her theory, and I just would love to hear like what your thoughts are.
I definitely agree with that. Definitely agree. I like to kids to be exposed. Yes, after we got them at least full immunizations. Yeah, they need their childhood immunizations, and we equip their body with this immunization, those major health issues that we don't want these kids to have. Then you can start expose them to anything else. So even with peanut allergy, I tell my client, you can just try, my patient, you can start putting a little bit of peanuts on their lips every once in a while, have their body get the taste of it. I'm not saying give them a full teaspoon,
Right.
but even when they are 4 months, 6 months old, just try to give them a little bit of everything, and that's when they get the allergies doesn't develop anymore. They
Right.
build it in their
Building
system.
an immune,
Absolutely.
yes,
Same
yes.
thing, the germs. So overdoing everything, it doesn't always help.
Yeah, it didn't. And knock on wood, my kids have never had an ear infection. They've never had pink eye. They've never had, they've never had, other than a common cold and, an upset stomach every once in a while. We've,
Thanks. Yeah.
we've gotten a long way. They're pretty healthy kids. So I was, fortunate because that was very foreign to me. Like, what? You don't want me to use soap? And she's like, I mean, if they're visibly dirty, but just rinse them off with water.
Rinse them off, yeah.
Rinse them off with water. You don't have to do that. And like, we haven't used hand antimicrobial stuff in our house for soap, dish soap, and things like that forever.
I was always not a fan of the alcohol-based sanitizer because I just think it's so drying.
It is.
Yes.
And I'm always a fan of like, I want to wash my hands.
Yes.
I want to actually wash my hands.
I love
I'm
it.
feeling
I say
those
regular
days.
soap and water.
Yeah.
That's what I tell patients, regular soap and water.
And it's the motion, you're breaking the cell wall. So when you're washing your hands, it's the friction as well.
Right.
Too, and that's why you want to wash the backs of your hands and your thumbs and everything. It's the friction that actually
Yes.
breaks the walls. Get it all in there.
I know. I was in the restroom at a restaurant in the road, and she's like, this lady's like, I think you're prepping for surgery. I'm like, well, I have been in healthcare, but no, I do know how to wash my hands.
I know. But now that you think about it, I was in the dental office too. But I wash up to the elbows. Let's go.
I just got a routine.
Well, when you're around lots of people, you've the thought like I could be a germaphobe at any moment.
Yes,
I
do carry hand sanitizer in my car.
Yeah, I could be I know she has hers on her bag.
Well, it just sometimes, and I always, how the handlebars to the store are, and you can always see the most worn
Yes.
parts. I always grab it from the bottom or do something like, and I would just tell, because my kids were little, and I said, hey, do you know that you just leave your DNA on that? Just left your DNA on that, and then just leave that.
Your fingerprints are all over that.
But I'm also like, I will grab the bottom, or I'll try to grab it at a top where it's not most used.
Right.
Like,
right.
Okay, I'm going to limit it just a little bit. But after you're out shopping, you're just out and about, I have that need to feel like, I need my hands to be.
Yeah. I always walk in the house from anywhere and wash my hands.
Yes.
You are listening to Lisa and Robyn on the mic on WSMN 1590 AM, 95.3 FM. You can watch, stream, and listen on WSMN.live as well as Facebook and YouTube. We are going to the top of the hour. Stay tuned for hour 2 of Lisa and Robyn on the mic.
WSMN 1590, WSMN 95.3 FM Nashua. Listen, watch, and stream at WSMN.live.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. In Arizona, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. expected to deliver remarks this afternoon. ABC News has learned RFK Jr. could suspend his campaign and expected to endorse Donald Trump. The former president is in Las Vegas this hour, but will hold an event tonight in Arizona. 5 Secret Service agents on administrative leave now in the wake of the assassination attempt on former President Trump. ABC senior justice producer Jack Date says they were involved in the security planning ahead of the Pennsylvania rally in July.
The Secret Service Office of Professional Responsibility has been examining really what the agents did in terms of preparing for the event and how they executed their plan. And as part of that, they've taken 5 agents who were part of that planning and put them on administrative leave for now.
Starting again in late September, the U.S. government will offer Americans the ability to order free COVID-19 test kits. They can receive 4 tests per household through the website. This is ABC News. Divers have now recovered all the bodies from the wreckage of a super yacht that went down off Sicily earlier this week.
On the quayside in Porticello, the final body bag brought to shore. The last person missing was British tycoon Mike Lynch's 18-year-old daughter, Hannah. That concludes this part of the operation. The vessel went down suddenly in the early hours of Monday morning. A sad, grim tale on what was supposed to be a celebration of Lynch's acquittal in a fraud case in the U.S. earlier this summer. Tom Rivers, ABC News at the Foreign Desk.
Florida prosecutors have issued an arrest warrant for former Okaloosa County Deputy Eddie Duran in the shooting death of U.S. Air Force Senior Airman Roger Fortson. Authorities say Duran shot Fortson when he answered the door to his home, holding his handgun by his side. Duran was responding to a domestic disturbance report that turned out to be false. I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
Give the star in your life the brightest gift in the world. Name a star after them. This is Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For $59 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, you can name a star for birthdays, weddings, or even memorials. Over 45 years, we have named millions of stars for celebrities and individuals from around the world. The star you name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Visit starregistry.com or call 800-282-3333.
I am Elena Dries, nurse practitioner at Altrix Primary Care, located right here in Nashua, New Hampshire at 57 Northeastern Boulevard. At Altrix Primary Care, we are dedicated expert nurse practitioners who provide high-quality, comprehensive primary care services for people of all ages, from newborns to older adults. Our nursing model of care is distinctive because it's unhurried, high-personalized, easily accessible healthcare for you and your family. Visit us online at altrixpc.com/Nashua or give us a call at 603-821-4009. That is 603-821-4009. Altrix Primary Care, changing the future of primary care for you and your family.
Have you tried to quit drinking before, and much to your surprise and dismay, you couldn't? Have you tried therapy, meetings, and treatment programs, but still can't seem to stay stopped? Or maybe you live in fear that you'll lose your job, your home, or your family, and much more if you don't get this figured out, and soon. Well, there is hope. My name is Bill Nielsen, and I'm the founder of Nascent 24 Recovery and Life Coaching. And I struggled for over a decade. Yup, 10 years, trying to get it right. I lost jobs, 5-6-figure jobs in fact, homes, friends, relationships. I thought I'd never get off the merry-go-round or the roller coaster, but I did, and I've developed a proven proprietary process that works. Why does it work? Because it addresses the root cause and not the symptoms. No more Band-Aids on bullet wounds. It's a 12-week journey that will transform your entire life, not just the drinking thing. I work one-on-one with every single client, and your privacy and anonymity are paramount. The great part is that you don't have to leave your home, your job, or your family. Text me the word recovery to 203-241-1266. That's 203-241-1266. Or visit my website, nascent24.com, NASCENT24.com. There is a solution. Take the first step. You won't regret it.
Hi Nashua, I'm Perry Cataldo from Choice Benefit Services, your local insurance agent that has dedicated himself to all the Medicare plans in New Hampshire. Whether you're just turning 65, new to Medicare, or already have a plan, I'll explain all your Medicare options and extra benefits that you hear so much about. I ensure you're getting all you're entitled to and all that you deserve. Nashua, don't get fooled again this year. Call Perry Cataldo at 603-461-5550. That's 603-461-5550. Or visit me online at cbsnh.com. That's cbsnh.com. I look forward to hearing from you. And remember, health is wealth.
Are you wondering, how can my business expand its reach? Or how can I support music and arts in my community? Well, I'm glad you asked. My name is Cody, and I'm from the Nashville Community Music School, and I'm here to talk about all the wonderful opportunities to partner with us. Whether you want to become a VIP table sponsor of our biggest concert event of the year, Play It Forward, or by joining our band of donors by donating only $5 a month, we'd love to be able to speak with you and show how we can partner to make music accessible to all. Give us a call at 603-881-7030 or shoot us an email at info@nashuacms.org.
The views and opinions of the following show do not reflect those of WSMN, its owners, and/or associates.
Lisa and Robyn are two fun friends diving deep into conversations where nothing is taboo. They believe in eating dessert before dinner and wearing the bikini. They're allergic to labels, authority, and cheap shoes. Currently, they're launching themselves through life being the good time, bold enough to take risks and inquisitively asking, what's next? They hail from New Hampshire, but they could be anywhere dressed in cute clothes. If they had to share a tombstone, it would read, "Curiosity killed these cats." Your hosts, Lisa and Robyn on the mic.
Welcome back to Lisa and Robyn on the mic. You are listening on WSMN 1590 AM, 95.3 FM. You can watch, stream, and listen on WSMN.live, as well as Facebook and YouTube. I really want to start Instagramming live as well.
Can we? I don't know if you have to have a following for that. I sound so hoarse today.
Do you have allergies?
Felt like that. I was like that yesterday. I think it is. I'm constantly.
I think I have to start taking Zyrtec again. I feel very throaty.
Yeah.
I feel very throaty. So I want to thank Dr. Najwa Holtzman for being on. She is from Epic Medi Spa and Weight Loss Clinic. She is at 32 Stiles Road, number 209, Salem, New Hampshire. And her telephone number is 603-858-5232, and she is the perfect person to talk about everything with, because she really is holistic and she really is looking for the best results that are sustainable over a long time, and she doesn't push any one thing, you know, so she's not pushing Botox or pushing fillers or pushing weight loss drugs or pushing this.
She's looking at what's best for you, where you are.
Yeah, because she has that medical background. She's also, she cares about how you look, but like she said, beauty is inside out.
I'm probably going to break this thing, but I feel like this thing is like up against my forehead.
Can you pull the microphone out more?
Look at that.
Look at that.
Just
sounds like seesaws.
Just a quick adjustment.
So I want to thank her for coming in, and she did run away. I had a couple of questions. I had some people had told me once I was going to speak to her that I needed to talk to her in advance about stuff, but I promise I still have access to her. I will get us those answers. Like someone wanted to know what the best treatment after a laser was for maintenance. You know, they got the laser treatment. Have you seen the laser treatment?
No.
They laser your face. It peels off.
Oh.
The top layer, and all the beautiful pink baby skin comes from underneath.
Oh.
And one of my friends was asking, you know, what's the best maintenance on that? Is that a chemical peel or whatever? So I will get those answers from Najwa, but she scooted out of the studio so fast.
Well, I think that, you know, the meter was running.
The meter panicked her.
Yeah. She's like, oh, I don't know. I know. I wanted to grab her and tell her that I want you to take me, you know, we all want to go from like 0 to 50. I want to go from 50 to 20. Oh, my on my bum. Girl, you can work with that thing.
Right. Do some sculpting, sculpt up.
Yes. Yes. Just push it up.
I remember my cousin had this video. She has these adorable, they were really young at the time, children. And she had a video called the Brazilian butt lift. You know, you're doing all of the leg lifting. And her daughter would come up and just lift her mom's butt from like with these two baby 5-year-old hands holding. Gosh. Mom, look it. Brazilian butt lift. I never forget that.
Oh my gosh, that's so
little
cool.
Carolyn.
You actually almost
Caroline.
did that. I almost did that cool sculpting. I'm so glad I didn't.
Yes. Yes, because if you're not reading all of that fine print or understanding that, because in your head you're like, good, I want those fat cells never to be able to accept
Right,
fat
but
again.
if you get like your muffin top, frozen, it might just like show up on your thigh or something. I don't.
Or show up right above, and instead of now you have a waist thing and something else.
Yes.
Or something. Yeah, cool sculpting. And that's...
You'd end up looking like a sack of potatoes. You're lumpy like that. Like, ooh, that's kind of scary.
Or like the leaf bag
I'm
when it has
surprised
too
they
many
haven't
leaves.
shut that down.
Well, I think over time, the places, if you notice, you don't see it advertised anymore.
Yeah, I guess not. I live pretty remote.
Right. I know. Off grid.
It's like
half off grid.
Did you know that was going on in the world? I did not.
I did not. But and she is so into the tech, what new technologies come out, what new research is coming out. So like every time I'm in there, coming in for an appointment, she's got her nose in something looking for what is the newest this, what is this, or what is a, she'll have 5 people say something. Is this a side effect? What do we do different about this? And I'm sure, one of the benefits, you might think, oh, I still want to go drinking, but if you're on Ozempic, I don't think you are going to be drinking too much.
Right.
And I think when I was reading all of those side effects in those articles, I think if people are still trying to do things the way they always do them, I think their side effects are probably worse.
Yes.
If you're, she offers IV. So, those hydration IVs, and you can put vitamins in them and all of that stuff.
Oh, we've had them done a few times. I love it.
So sometimes I get so sick that the only thing that's going to make me feel better is an IV. So you can go to the emergency room because a lot of convenient MDs don't do them. You can't get say if you had the fluid and you vomit for a long time.
Yeah, but so a lot of places will pop up and do them. And I know that when we were in Dallas, so I don't know about here, but I know that we were in Dallas that they have like the places, hydration places or the IV spa. They will come to you and they'll give you your own cocktail of like what you're feeling. It's just a influx of vitamins, just different cocktails. And I was like, wow, we'll do it. So we're having a meeting. We're all sitting around this big meeting, and she does like 4 people at a time. And I was like, that's pretty cool.
Well, she does the IV there. So I've had I've had the flu. Normally I would have to go to the emergency room to start getting fluids again, because at some point I'm not holding down liquid, and it's like I'm feeling so terrible only just because I'm so dehydrated on top of everything else. And I will go and she'll give me a vitamin cocktail, and she'll ask me what I'm feeling, and so she's amazing. I absolutely love her. I'm so glad she came on. So thank you very much for coming on. Again, her name is Dr. Najwa Holzman. She is from Epic Med Spa and Weight Loss Clinic in Salem, New Hampshire. The telephone number 603-858-5232 if you want to get a free consultation about any of her services. She does do Botox and fillers. She does do collagen. She does this one thing that like improves your collagen production. I forget the name of that machine. So she has all kinds of cool technology. She's got the latest and greatest in her.
It's like a car wash, like just like you're going through and you're getting all these different services. Like I think I just need them all.
Well, that's the thing is you have to start going like, all right, financially, what am I prioritizing here?
Right. Are we going to work on the top or are we going to work on the bottom?
Right. Body, face, what are we doing?
Right. Right now, I would like to work on my forehead lines and my bottom.
Those are your 2 priorities?
Yes.
I'm supposed to be getting that fascia blaster that claims that it reduces the appearance of cellulite.
Well, I have one. I don't use it faithfully, but it's not the fascia blaster. It's not the one, but it's the same. It still has the 3 balls and it's the spikes, but it actually is really good for your muscles and stuff. Sometimes I'll get a Charlie horse and you just rub it out. And so sometimes a Charlie horse will leave your legs sore for days after. It does help take care of that sore out. It like breaks up all these little like the crystals and stuff in your, I wasn't committed to do it long-term.
And you're supposed to oil and do it, and you're supposed to, there's a very special technique.
Yes.
So I'll report back. I bought my fascia blaster. And I'll report back I'll take pictures, before and after pictures, and see if does my cellulite look less, because we want all the help we can get.
And squats don't help.
Well, they help with muscle tone.
Well, they do, but I feel like I have strong legs. My legs are the strongest part of my whole body. And I've done squats, and I used to swim, and I'd rollerblade, and I ride my bike, and do all these things. And I'm like, it's not, I would have to do probably from the time I got up to the time I went to bed, just be squatting all day.
I know. I also think, too, women have fat differently in their body than men do.
Yes.
By design.
Yes. Like, why couldn't they have cellulite?
Give it to them.
Right. And how many men do you have cellulite?
There's some men who have cellulite.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, maybe I haven't paid attention.
Yeah. Look.
I just feel
pay attention. Maybe you're not looking at the one. Maybe you're only looking at cuties. Maybe you're prone to hotties. And you're less prone to.
On my way here, I was coming out of, I was telling you on my way here, I'm on a new road. And I'm sitting at the stoplight. I'm like, oh, I'm on exit 6. And as I'm sitting here, getting my bearings, oh, I know exactly where I am. There's this white van, and I hear that they're turning right. And I heard somebody say, "Hi, Robyn," and his hand is out. And so I look in the rearview mirror, and I'm like, it looks like my son, but I'm like, there's no way he's in a white van.
I hope not.
And that guy, it looks like my son without his beard. He's got his beard right now. He's like, oh, we're going to grow this thing and see what it does. And I'm like, all right.
So you don't know who waved to you?
No. I kind of thought somebody would text me or hey, I just saw you. But I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea.
Hey, Robyn.
And then I was like, oh, in a white van. Should I be scared?
Right. Remember back in the day, all the kidnapping, don't get near a white van.
Yes.
All the electricians were like, hey.
Yes. Well, at first I thought it might be Logan, but I'm like, no, he doesn't have the van anymore. And you would have heard that thing because it's a diesel. But no, this was just, didn't have any sign, didn't have any signage or anything. It was just plain white van.
Mm. So what I think is the most interesting thing I took away from that is, so Dr. Najwa has such a good way of, she's so holistic, right? Because even when I would go through for nothing having to do with weight, or I'd go through for, my vitamins or whatever, she would say, okay, how are you doing? How are you sleeping? She was always this, whole body, whole person, because she'd say, you look stressed. What's going on? She was always has a good pulse on you. So I feel like talking to her about this drug is just almost a very calming, where after reading those articles that I read, I was all panicked that everyone should get off of it.
Well, I actually was thinking, when I first started just listening to Ozempic, I'm like, that's terrible. This is bad. I shouldn't do this. And it's actually wow, could it be the next wonder drug?
Well, I think for people who have diabetes, who it was there's label being used, label, and then off label.
Yes.
Right. So someone who has diabetes is a huge problem. Your body is breaking down.
Yes.
And it's not able to process sugars appropriately, which it's the cause and the result of obesity.
Yes.
And if you don't have it under control, you could go blind, you can get gout. So many things are an ancillary to actual diabetes.
And even just wounds don't heal. So you end up, I had a patient that he ended up having to have his foot amputated. And it was from walking. He had those, the river sandals. He was walking on the beach in his sandals, and some sand and stuff had gotten, on the sole, and it had just irritated his foot. It's literally on the pad of his foot, and it was just a sore, and it wasn't healing. And so you're walking on it, but then it's sweating, and you put your socks on.
Then you get an infection, and it's
dirty.
Did,
and they cleaned it out, and they irrigated it, and he actually showed me, because he's like, "Do you want to see it?" I'm like, "Of course I want to see." And I'm just supposed to be drawing your blood,
right.
But yes, take that sock off and let me see. But he did. And it had gotten, he said it was like the size of a nickel, and it was,
an orange, the size of an orange or an apple.
Yeah, it was bigger than a silver dollar, on the bottom of his foot. So they had to put a wedge and build, because you're not supposed to put any pressure on it in walking. So he had a cast, like a boot, but it was lifted up because they had to put a foam, a hole covering it, so the rest of his foot could, so they, made it so that he could walk, and there was no pressure on that That was weird.
Yeah. So when you think about, all of the problems from this particular disease, we'll call it, I don't know, is diabetes a disease? I'm sure it is.
Yes.
Right? I'm correctly using the words. But, literally you can go blind. You have the gout. I mean, really terrible things happen and your body is breaking down. It's not operating efficiently. It's like trying to drive your car with sugar in the tank instead of gas.
Yes.
Right.
Water.
So you don't want to do that. So if you have that and you've been trying. But what I think this is really interesting is since it works on the part of your brain, you're backdooring into a better, you're not having your cravings, you're not able to eat as much, you're not able to drink alcohol. Because I think a lot of the thwarting of our progress is, I starved myself, I ate, not necessarily starved myself, but I ate everything I was supposed to eat, I did everything. We went out on Friday and Saturday night, and you undo everything good that you do during the week.
Yes.
So if this is sort of the backdoor way into you can't overeat, you can't drink,
can't smoke,
you can't smoke, you're backdooring into a good lifestyle.
You're taking care of the 3 biggest addictions
and health crisis problems.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So now, is that going to be without side effect? No.
Right.
There's going to be side effects.
Well, everything has
a price.
Yes, everything has a consequence.
And one of the things that I think everyone should take away, whether your spouse is on it or you're a woman on it, is make sure you're using the right birth control method.
Right.
Because, that is a huge consideration. That's not just like a little side effect of feeling nauseous.
Gosh, how awesome could that be if it was something that could cure infertility in some people, in certain,
Yeah. Yeah, because when you're, I'm going to bring up this book again. Brain Energy talks about metabolic disease.
Yes.
And metabolic disease starts in your mitochondria. And the mitochondria are responsible for everything. And, the breakdown of things, your body not working well. Our body is an organic machine, but it has to operate within parameters, and things are either working well and optimally or they're not optimally. And then you have all of the problems. So it's just interesting. It was interesting to hear a doctor's take instead of just reading an article
or just drawing our own conclusions and,
Yes. So then
self-diagnosing myself.
Yeah. And if you want to, reach out to her and find out if it's something that works for you, please feel free. I feel like she will evaluate you as a whole instead of just promising to give you the latest and greatest, newest thing.
Yeah.
She has all kinds of options for you. And it was really funny because I remember when I went into the office the day, this guy says he's going to interview me, and I give him this huge interview, and he takes everything I say out of context and puts this ridiculous thing that I would never say as the headline of the article. So,
Of course, because they have to get your attention.
Right, they have to get your headline. And wouldn't you read an article about don't go to the gym?
Right. Yes.
Right, because most people don't want to go to the gym.
Yeah.
I use working out as a mental health tool as much as I do a physical tool.
Oh, I do too. It does. It makes you feel better. I have to move.
Yeah, you definitely are a mover.
Yes.
You're definitely. I feel like you can almost be anxious if you're not moving.
Yes. Yes, without a doubt. I've gotten better about it. Grounding in when I'm in a high vibration, I don't feel like that. But I feel like when I'm vulnerable or susceptible or stressed, or it helps me to move.
Yeah, and I think working out is great for stress reduction.
Yeah,
definitely. I forget.
I can make weeding a workout.
Yes, my Carolyn can make washing floors a workout.
Yes, Oh yeah. I mean, today I was like, well, I cut my workout a little bit short, and then I was cleaning the kids' bathroom, and I'm taking the brush and I'm literally scrubbing every grout line, and I'm yeah, my arm is tired.
Switch arms, switch back.
I'm I think I got a pretty good workout.
I did yoga this morning, and one of the things that I was thinking is we were doing things I didn't want to do. Today was a whole class of not doing anything really hard, but all the things that we did were hard because we never do them. They were all the ignored body parts.
You did all the bad. You did all the, there's always moves that you like, and then there's always ones you don't like.
And there's some moves that are hard because they're, the effort to do them is hard. But these were small moves that were really hard. And I was thinking, how funny my attention going to the, oh, I can't do this. And the minute I say I can't do that, I think I want to quit. And if I go, no, I can do this.
Yeah.
I can do this. It's only 3 seconds. And then, she's not going to the next move. And I'm like, I can do 3 more seconds. If I break it down.
Hold it.
But what I thought, it made me start thinking afterwards about attention. And talking to her, we're talking about our looks, right? The exterior body, how we present ourselves, and all of the attention on that based on, we've always had the attention on the physical, right? Because we have our eyes and we're physical beings, and that's how we see each other in the world. But the addition of, before, we're photographers, so we have a lot of pictures. But even we don't have the amount of pictures that someone who doesn't take pictures has now in their phone.
Right.
So we're always in front of a camera. The camera's always on. We're always posting or not posting.
Right.
Where we have the ability to have filters. And I don't use filters on, I will edit lighting.
Yes, I edit lighting, but I don't use any filters.
But I don't use any filters either, because I also don't want to go missing one day and then be like, oh, go to her. Has anyone seen this woman? And I don't look like that.
Right. I always worry. I always think about that when what does somebody look like when you're in the store and you see somebody that's got those big honking lashes?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do they look like
without them?
Yes. Does she take them off at night and your husband's like, whoa, who are you?
No, because those are permanently on. The lash things last for several weeks.
No, those big. How could you? The big feathery ones, like, wow. That's like an ostrich feather. Like, you blinking and those things are like.
I always wonder.
I can't even.
Are
see
they
your
heavy on
eyeball.
your eyes? Yeah. Your eyelids. Like, do you feel like your eyes are tired at the end of the day? Because some of them do look very heavy. Some of those. Those ones I know that you're talking about, those you're putting on and off. But eyelash extensions, you get permanently on. They glue them on your face for 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm so tempted to get them, but then I'm so afraid of eye infections that I don't get them.
I was going to buy some eyelashes and just try them to see if I would do it. I'm like, I don't even want to go through the hassle of, I think you got to get glue and then all that stuff. And I'm like, what if I don't like it?
I don't even
My
like...
eyes are sensitive.
Yeah, I don't even like when there's like a hair facing the wrong way and it by accident touches my eye.
Yes.
So that's why.
Or even sometimes I feel like if I don't brush out my mascara, and sometimes it just has a heavy feeling on there, and like I don't like that. So
yeah,
I'm like,
I don't think we're gonna like that. But when we think about our attention, where our attention goes, I was thinking how much of our attention is pulled away from focus of the things that we're doing, because we're always just a little bit attentive to this inanimate object.
Because we're almost never present.
Mm.
I think our attention is always divided. I don't know. It's a good question.
And when we do have our attention, when it includes the phone, is so much of the attention on the looking of, like, what it looks like.
What do you mean?
So,
So are you are we judging other people? Judging?
Are we? Yes.
Are we judging how we?
Is everything just a judgment because have we turned into more of a judging creature than we already are because we're so judgmental? And not that anything is actually wrong. I know we're not supposed to have too much judgment here and there, but discernment is good.
Yes, discernment. But I actually wonder if it lowers our vibration. I wonder if we...
Well, I can't
because we're always comparing. And so is it actually... Do we become more envious? Do we become more jealous? Or do we feel like, if we're judging and we're always constantly watching other people's lives unfold, is it creating a deficit in us to feeling like, well, we're not good enough? Or... I wish I had that. And, those are all low vibration energies.
Or they're on vacation again. When was the last time I took a vacation?
Yes. A friend of mine, he's in Switzerland, and I just said to him, like, my God, are you going to Lauterbrunnen? Are you going to Grindelwald? And he's like, yes, I am. I'm like, oh, my God, you got to go to Lucerne, and you got to do this. And I'm like, I'm watching them like, so I had to pull up my pictures. But so I could see where, like, I'm not jealous of him. Like, I want to be there too, but I wonder if we... how much we do that we're not aware of, that it's eating away at us. It's creating a negative in us, like a lack a deficit, so that we are judging and we are
comparing.
coveting and
Yeah.
envious.
Yes. Coveting.
Yeah, coveting. I like that word.
Yeah. Coveting is a big one.
So I just caught myself doing that. Like, I just caught myself and like wishing, man, I want to go to Europe. I've been talking about it for a minute. Like, I just, timing, and I really want to go. And so it did make me feel that way. So I'm like wondering how, if we started paying attention.
What's the longest you've gone not being on your phone? Like, have you ever done a thing where you're like, I'm not doing this for a period of time?
I'm super guilty of it. I can leave my phone down if my whole family is under one roof.
Yeah, then you don't have a problem.
Then it does not bother me. But I always feel like, what if they need me? What if they call? Or what if they do this? And I know I know there's some healthy and unhealthy in that. I'm like, well, I make excuses for it.
Yeah. But remember, look at our parents. They didn't know where we were when we were 12 for hours at a time.
I know.
Isn't that fascinating now?
At 10.
Right.
And you didn't have, like, if you broke down on the side of the road, or, especially when we were 16, you had your driver's license, and, there wasn't any.
Yeah.
You had to find a payphone. Now I'm like, I don't even know if we have payphones.
We don't have payphones.
But how would you know? Actually, I was thinking about that the other day. My
Homeless
daughter
people have phones. I see people begging on the side of the road.
Yes.
With their little sign, and they just have a backpack and their thing, and they have a phone. How are they getting service? Where's their Wi-Fi connected to?
Right.
These are the questions I have.
How are you paying for your Wi-Fi?
Right. Where do you get your Wi-Fi? My Wi-Fi is always not working. I pay for service.
Right. And it's terrible.
It's terrible. But isn't that, like, in my head, I think, wow, that's...
So if you lost your phone and had to call somebody, do you know their phone number?
Only a few people.
Yeah, I don't. I have no two.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. That's why sometimes for a while there, when I first got the phone, I would look at the telephone number that was saved as a contact, and I would physically dial it, because just my hands moving over the number. So that I was like, what happens if I'm abducted, but I find another phone? How am I going to get in touch? Like, I guess you just call 911.
Well, that's what I was saying to Chris. Like, if we're in a foreign country and we both lose our phones, or we're in jail in a foreign country, who are we going to call? Do you know anybody's phone number to call other than mine?
Right.
Like, we might be stuck in a Cuban jail somewhere.
Right.
And we can't get out because we don't know anybody's number.
Yeah, so I'm probably going to start doing that now that we have this conversation. So what I would do is the next time I'll call you, I will have your phone number up, and then I will call your number. And then I'll just do that a couple of times. And then the physical. So I still remember my telephone number when I grew up. 617-776-5898 was my number until I was 18. And then the number of my first apartment was 617-666-6088. Now, I remember those numbers from 50 years ago.
So I remember our childhood when it was 804-384-5775.
Yeah. So isn't
5774.
Isn't that amazing that we can remember something from 40 years ago that we haven't touched
Yes.
all this time, but I wouldn't be able to dial your telephone number right now.
Right. I literally don't even know the numbers in your phone. In your phone number. I was like, well, no, it just comes up as Lisa.
Yeah.
In your picture.
Yeah. My smiling face.
Yes. But actually, you just think about it. Like, how many numbers do you actually know?
Yeah, I know too.
I'd be interested in.
Yeah, now I'm gonna have to work on that actually now.
Well, my daughter made me drill it into, like, we were out and I had said to her, she's like, do you know my phone number? I'm like, no. And so every time, and then we were at American Eagle, and she gets points and stuff like that. So I would always put her number, and she's like making me
memorize her number.
Yeah, well, she's like, do you have your reward number? And she said, I do. And she's like, Mom, what is it?
So you can call me if you're in a Cuban prison.
I'm like, the pressure. She's mothering me.
Right. She's like, hey, this is important.
Yes, this is important. And I'm glad she did.
Yeah.
So now I have to go learn my son's.
Yes.
I know some of the numbers in it. I just don't know it's his, like, Yeah, I don't want to say it online.
Yeah, you don't have
I
to
was
say
like,
that
no,
online.
don't go that way.
Yeah.
I forget we're on the radio sometimes. It's like,
Yeah, so back to attention, though. Do we give our loved ones our undivided attention?
no.
Between all the screens, like computers and televisions and phones?
I think we've created a busy world. We kind of talked about it yesterday a little bit about how this push for being productive, push for being successful, and push you've got to be busy and stay busy. I think that you're always. I don't know. I don't know. Are we intentional? I know I'm guilty of it. I feel like, yeah, I'm showing up, I'm present, but really I'm still thinking about, oh, I need to go get a shower curtain and I need to go do this and I need to start dinner and, it's for.
Yeah, and that's the stuff that would happen whether or not another reason why I'm asking this is I heard someone say that if you carry your phone from room to room, you're addicted to it.
Oh.
And I was like, I don't know if that's true. Sometimes I'm carrying it from room to room because I'm expecting a call or the call's going to come and I don't want to run to another room or not remember where it is.
Yes.
Especially during a work day.
I know, and I'm yelling Siri all over the house. Hey, Siri. And I'm waiting for him to say, uh-huh.
Do you know I do not have Siri?
You don't?
I do not.
Oh, because listening?
Yeah.
But does it even have to be activated in order for it to not do it? Like, haven't you ever been talking about something and something comes up on your social media?
Yes. So that's what I mean. If that happens off of my phone and I'm not saying Siri, what is Siri doing in my house when my phone is off?
Yeah, that's true.
And I don't, maybe there's no way of getting around it. Maybe my accessories didn't respond. Yeah, and maybe there's no getting around it. Maybe we have crossed the line where this is a futile worry. Like, this is just happening.
It's not ever going to go back in the box.
Right.
I mean, we're not going to go to landlines. I think about,
thank God,
how many people have landlines. And I was like, are telephone companies still a
thing? I have a landline.
Oh, you do have a landline?
I do have a landline.
Oh, wow. Do you use it?
Yes, because sometimes my cell phone will not work in my own home.
Yeah.
And my calls just drop, and then I get annoyed. And so then
I think the latest technology, though, that things have been messing up. Like, a lot of times,
I think that's Mercury in retrograde.
When the text messages come up, it has the name of who's texting me. But then all of a sudden it goes and it just says message. And I have to go and turn my phone off and then reset it. And a couple of times, like yesterday, it just popped up. I was on the browser, and the next thing it knows, like, my mom's screen to text her came up, and it was like marked as safe, it said, "Do you want to send it now?" And I'm like, "What? Where did that come from?"
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just, my phone has been weird like that. My son was saying that he's had some weird things like that. He said it shows that he has a message, that somebody left him a message, and then he actually goes into the app. It's not there. And I was like, that is weird.
Yeah, I do think Mercury was in retrograde for the month of August, so I think technology acts weird.
When do we get out of it?
I think we're out now.
Are we?
I believe so.
So
it's the 23rd. I think, yeah, we can go back to the way it was. We can go back to the technology working for sure. All right, so go back to covet. What do you think you covet the most of coveting? Do you think it's people's body parts? Do you think it's people's vacations? Do you think it or what do you think it is?
From a social media aspect?
No, from your life.
Well, I don't know. It depends on how you use covet. Like, I covet my family, like my people.
Yeah.
With a passion.
Yeah.
But for social media and all of that stuff, it would probably be traveling. It would be, it's not really cars or houses or maybe an outfit, but it would be traveling. It would be a experience.
So where is the next place you want to go?
Europe.
Any specific place in Europe?
I would like to take Chris on the places that we went to in Switzerland. I'd love to go and do Italy, but I also want to go see something new. So I don't know. I love Switzerland. I don't know where it would be. I kind of would like to go back to France. Was so young when I went that I would like to do that. But really, it would be Greece.
Mm-hmm.
It would be Greece or Italy or Switzerland would be my top.
So I'm dying to go to Poland.
I want to go to Poland.
I want to go to Croatia.
Oh, I want to go to Croatia. I would love to go to Africa. For years, I wanted to go on a safari. Like that was on my it is on my bucket list.
I really, because I'm an Anglophile, I love England. So I feel like at some point I have to get to England. Although it seems like it's a mess over there.
I don't know. I'm in my bubble.
Yeah, you're in your bubble. I won't take you out of your bubble.
No, but I would love.
Where in the
to
United States
Scotland.
have you? Oh, okay, Scotland. Yes, I would love to go to Scotland. I would like to go to. I'd like to see a fjord.
A Jord.
Fjord. I would like to see a fjord. I would like to see I would like to see like those.
I would like to play golf in Scotland.
Mm.
And I'd like to go to Ireland.
Are you going to make Chris wear a kilt?
Yes,
of course.
I would love to. So we had some friends of ours.
John has good legs. I'd like him to wear a kilt.
Yes.
I don't know if he would though.
I think he could pull it off. I think they could both pull it off.
Yeah, I think they would.
I mean,
look
there's
great.
some stocky Scottish dudes, man. When they're playing those bagpipes, man, and you look at their legs, like, wow.
Yeah, maybe that's why they don't wear pants.
Like,
can't fit in them.
Yeah. Good point.
Who's going to find pants for these legs?
That's true.
Where in the United States haven't you gone that you want to go?
Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really want to go. I mean,
no.
I mean, I kind of do. Like, I would love to play golf in Arizona, and I mean, I would love to see Midwest. But I've been to Montana. I've been to Idaho.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, my mom used to live in Idaho, so we would go. We skied in. We've been to Wyoming, Idaho, Montana. I've been to like Ohio. Actually, I would like Seattle and Oregon. I would like to go out there. I would like to see the Grand Canyon. A lot of people say when they've seen the Grand Canyon, they're like, "Okay, now we've seen it. Now what?" Like it's vast, but you really only need like 30 minutes. I could be wrong.
So a helicopter ride.
Or I could do like the donkeys. I could take the donkeys down into like that would be cool. But just to go and drive and park and stand on the ledge,
yeah.
I want an experience. I'll take the donkeys down. But,
yeah.
What about you? Where in the United States?
I want to go to Utah.
Oh, we have a friend in Utah.
Do you really?
Yeah, we have a couple of them. But Jonah's friend Quaid is out there right now.
So I wanted to go to Colorado for the longest time.
I want to go to Colorado in the winter skiing, but I also want to see. I knew it was going to escape me. What's the lake?
Like Havasu?
No, the lake out there. Like it's crystal clear.
What state are we in?
In Colorado.
Colorado.
I forgot to look it up. Now you got to talk.
I'm like, I think that's Arizona is Havasu. Where else would I like to go? Isn't it funny? I would like to go, again, this is not the United States, but I would like to go to Alberta, British Columbia, Whistler, that area.
Yes.
I would like to go to Sun Valley, Idaho.
What's in Sun Valley?
A huge mountain. I know that much for sure. Because every time 2929 goes to Idaho, they go to Sun Valley. And I see pictures and I'm like, oh, that looks beautiful.
Yes.
We are going, let's see.
Yeah, when are you guys going to Greece?
A few weeks. We are going to spend some time in Maine. So we go to Gunquit. I've never been. What's the hiking trail over in Maine?
Mount Katahdin?
Is it Arcadia?
Oh, there's Arcadia National Park.
Yes. I've never been there. I would like to go there.
Oh, I think that's that's like a couple of hours. Isn't that up by Booth Bay?
Mm-hmm.
Or Bar Harbor? Which one's further away?
Bar Harbor, I think, is further
Bar
away,
Harbor.
right?
In that Cadillac Mountain. That's a neat little place.
Yes.
And we used to camp and we would take our bikes and we'd take the bikes down into Bar Harbor and, ride around in Booth Bay too. Booth Bay has a cute little aquarium and kind of reminds you of York.
Mm-hmm.
It where the zoo is and like the little shops. That's what that reminds me of.
Yeah.
Right there on the harbor.
So I do think I think this back to the ADHD conversation. There are so many times I'll see something and I think like a little bit of coveting, like, oh, wouldn't that be amazing? And then I start really thinking of what that includes. Because we think, oh, isn't that amazing?
Yes.
But not everything is always just the positives of something. It's also the work that goes into it.
Right. Yes, because we don't see it from that perspective. We don't see what it took, you know. One of the things I hate is when somebody says, oh, you're so lucky. Not just me personally, but when you hear that, like, do you know what that luck included?
Right, right.
It was a lot of blood and a lot of sweat.
Right. And so
tears.
when I think of people who have, like, I look at this one woman's page, she sails the world alone on a sailboat. This woman sails alone on a sailboat. And I look at her pictures and I'm like, wouldn't that be just dreamy? And then I think, no, hoisting sails by yourself, working on a boat, like none of this sounds
Getting
fun.
through a storm at night.
Getting through a storm
at night. And I'm like, you had me up until you said alone. Like,
yes.
No, I'm done. I don't want to be,
Yes. Yeah. And even with 3 people through a storm on the ocean, no
fishing
way.
for your food.
No way. Trying to keep all right. You're only eating what's on board, whatever you can
what
bring
if you
aboard.
get lost? Then it's like now you're in Life of Pi. Now I got a tiger on my boat.
Right. At least it's company.
It's true. Or Wilson.
Yes.
What was he? Stranded? Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
Yes.
What was the name of that movie?
I don't know. Wilson.
Yeah.
Stranded? Was that? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I know that is the name of a movie. That's not that movie.
We can butcher.
We can butcher movies all day.
We can butcher anything. News. Facts.
Yes.
But we don't butcher clothes.
Right. We seem to be okay with that. What do you think? So if you were to put your attention on one thing for that, because we're coming into the last quarter of 2024.
Yeah.
And I got a hot panic because I said, oh my God, we're coming into the last week of August, which means we're coming into September, and then September's the end of the year. And my spouse looked at me like, I hate you.
My sunshine's over. I know. And I was like, souped. You're like, oh, I love that. I heard you yesterday when you said, oh, I love that you're soup ready. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm like, well, I don't even know why he did that. But it was like, I didn't want to go to the store. I had to put something together. And I'm like, oh, I have this, this, and this, and this, and we're going to do soup.
And you did say it feeds a lot of people.
Yes.
Like it feeds a crowd. So that was your reason, not because it's chilly soup weather.
Because I am denying it.
Yeah. My friend Teresa put, it is not pumpkin weather. It's not pumpkin season. It's apple season.
Yes.
And I agree.
It is apple season.
It's going to be apple season soon. Have you ever been apple picking?
Yes. We used to go all the time with the kids when they were little. And that's where we get our apples like most of the time. But one of the things I don't, like New Hampshire is not big on is farm stands. Or like farmers markets. They're like weird days in odd times.
So Hayward's down here at the Rotary has a little farmer stand. They always have tomatoes and corn and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay. So what would you like to put your attention on for the last quarter of 2024?
Real estate.
Ooh.
Growing. Expanding.
No, I love that answer. I love that answer. And you knew it right away. And
yeah, because I feel like we're 8 months in. I haven't pursued it. I kind of just, I had a space to allow for it to happen. But for me actively pursuing it, I feel like I've dropped the ball for me for that.
Yeah. So like the question, so I'm on my calendar. I turn the week and we're going to be in September. So I start putting, okay, I've got 1 quarter left. What do I need to do?
All right. So what's yours?
So I have so many things on this list. And that's not possible. Again, back to the attention. You can't put your attention on everything because then you're putting your attention on nothing.
Yes.
So one of the things in real estate that is coming up all of the time that is turning into this huge challenge is insurance. So my current client base, everyone's, looking at insurance costs skyrocketing. And so one of the things I put on was to meet with my yoga teacher. Actually, her full-time job is working in insurance, and she's going to Alaska. So when she comes back, I'm like, I have to talk to her about that. I need to get the book in physical form in people's hands.
At what stage are you at the?
I have dropped the ball for where we are in the typesetting process. Because I was staying on them all the time when I was making, and now I haven't, and nothing's happened. So that's on me.
So they just put it aside, and
no, I think they're probably working on it. I just don't know where we are I don't know where we are in that.
Oh.
Because you have to physically align everything.
Yeah.
It's not like it's really funny.
You have to physically go and format it.
Yes.
There's not a template.
There's no template, right? And it's not words, pictures, word, pictures, because there's not enough pictures to make words, pictures the whole time. Right. So you have to also format where the pictures are so that when the next picture is, it's in the right amount of pages within the book. And there's so many tedious details that I did not know existed. And self-publishing it, being the publisher as well as the person. Normally, an author would be completely out of the picture, and there'd be a team of people
yes.
that were handling the rest of it.
Yes, you just hand it off, and then it just comes back in a really pretty book.
Yeah, in a company that's all they did all day, every day.
Yes.
So it's
so it's not even. It's more than a team. It's a company.
It's a company, right? Random House puts out.
Because you would need a team for each process,
right? 100 cook. And even with the size of the company, they don't put out, 1,000. There's only so many they can even do with their team, and they know what they're doing. Yes. They've done it before.
Yes.
So I will say that, but it needs to be a completed thing physically. I can hand it to someone. They can purchase it. It's too long. I was wanting it to be done I wanted it already to be in people's hands in August. So, but again, if I do not diligently work on it.
I thought in spring too. I thought April or something was.
Oh yeah, that was that was a bad deadline. That wasn't even a close deadline. Wasn't even close.
Well, you don't
deadline.
know what you don't know.
I know.
So what would you covet? What do you covet?
That's a good question.
And you listeners, what do you covet?
Yeah, I think I covet books. I covet, like when I see a person put something in, it always makes me feel a little jealous, and I know that that's still something that exists so strongly in me. That's not being satisfied.
I like the way you say that, not being satisfied, because it's leaving a lack of something.
Yes, and I was thinking that, because I could beat myself up about the whole book thing, but it's like I run a business, I have a radio show, and my business, everyone who knows, is trying to buy a house with the limited inventory, and it's just a difficult time. It's demanding, and working with one client, I think we put in 12 offers this year to not move forward. Normally, in a regular market, that person would have been done 5 months ago, and I would have been moving on to something else. But a lot of stuff is stacking up on top of each other because we're not completing things.
Right.
We're not completing things. So it feels different. It feels stagnant when it's not. You're working, you're doing things. I went to, and every time I have a person looking at a property, I create the person, then I create a file folder in my computer for the address. I mean, I clicked open because we're starting to look at a new address, and almost the whole entire box, my dialogue box, is addresses that we haven't done anything. Like we haven't bought any.
Right.
And I ended up talking to my accountant because I was thinking I'm going to sell some. I don't have very many stocks, but currently I have 2 stocks. That's how not stock oriented I am. I am real estate oriented.
I'm thinking about selling some stock. How many do you have? Well, I have 2.
I have 2. I have 2 stocks. And I'm thinking of selling both of them because real estate is in such a spot that I think the taxes on the stocks are a lot percentage wise. And since real estate is not a lot percentage wise, I think this would be a good year to sell them. So I spoke to my accountant about that.
Oh, that's actually not a bad idea.
And then when he told me how it works, I was like, why does anyone buy stocks?
True.
The taxes seem brutal on that.
Is there no way around?
And there's no way around it. He said he was even telling me that if people sell their stocks at a loss. But then all of a sudden the price dropped and it's going to go up, so they rebuy the same stock and they think, oh, well, I had a loss and now I have a gain. It wipes out their loss. So their tax isn't a gain and a loss. It's just a gain. And he's like, we call that a whatever wash, and people don't know about it. And then he says because I only have 2 stocks, there's such a minuscule amount, I do them by myself on E-Trade because no one's going to work with you for such little.
Right.
But he says people come to him for the first time and they get a trader and they get a 1099 that says they made $10,000, and they said, but I didn't make $10,000. And because the trades happened in a way, even though they didn't realize $10,000, the 1099 says they made $10,000, even though they don't have $10,000 in their hands, and now they have 40% or 36% taxes.
Right.
So now they owe $3,600 when they did not get $10,000. So he's like, yeah, it's a real,
that sucks. Well, so my ex-husband won a Jeep at a golf tournament. He got a hole-in-one on the 18th hole, and he won a Jeep. And we weren't going to keep it. Just bad timing. We had babies, and it was a stick shift. And it's, I'm so short that I have to, slide forward to hit the clutch. Unless I'm, sitting right on top of the wheel, it wasn't going to work for me, the clutch. In that vehicle. So we ended up selling it, but we owed, we had to pay the taxes on it. And I'm like, it was just a gift. It was a gift, but to write it off.
Unrealized income or whatever is the term.
And I was like, wait, that's not income.
Right. It is. It's worth
it.
Something.
Is.
Right. According to the IRS, it is.
I was like, dang. So we sold it.
And paid the taxes on it.
Yes. But we did sell it for enough. We did sell it enough that it was going to cover the cost of the taxes. So we did come out ahead.
Yeah.
But, I have a free Jeep, and I'm going to sell it to you. They got a great deal.
Yeah.
Because back then, I think we sold it for $14,000, and it's brand new. And we could have sold it for $28 or something like that. But at the time, it's nah.
Yeah, just wasn't.
We might have sold it for a little bit more than that. But I think off the market right off. And he sold it to a friend of ours, too. So we just wanted the taxes paid and not have it to be. That was weird.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing to win something that cool, though.
Yes. I would love to. I want a free turkey from my mom. Or my sister and I will fight over that. Standing at the checkout and the cashier, they would have the raffles. And so she and I, while they're doing the checkout, we're just shoving our name and our address and phone number in the box.
I want to win this turkey.
Yeah, so she and I are putting it in as many as we could get in. So, our odds were
yeah, you're winning this turkey. One of you is winning this turkey.
Yes. But we didn't have that thought in our head at the time. We're I'm just going to sign up and we're going to just keep putting more in. Mom's like, hey, we want a free turkey. And Trish and I are high five.
We got this.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're coming into, kids are going back to school soon, coming into the end of a summer. Do you feel like you had a good summer?
I feel like I had a great summer. I feel like it was rainy.
It's only because the last couple of weeks are rainy. We had a beautiful beginning of the summer.
We did. I keep dipping I keep going outside. I see the pool, and I'm like, oh, today's the day I'm going to get in. And then you go, and I put my foot in. I'm like, nope.
Because it's 58 degrees at night.
It's chilly. And we could put the heater on, but I'm like, I don't.
Yeah.
That's a lot for me to just get in and swim.
Considering an ice bath.
Yes. It's actually not bad. And I do think it's going to get warmer. It's going to get a little bit warmer here.
Yeah, it's supposed
in the
to get warmer in the
but
next week.
There's been times I'm like, oh, I think I'm going to go put on a sweatshirt. And I'm like, not ready. But you feel that cool coming in.
Yeah.
I love it, but I'm not ready.
Yeah. I'm not ready to, you will not catch me in a sweater until it's cold. I'm going to be wearing white jeans, and I'm going to be wearing summer clothes until September 21.
Yes.
So when you see everyone else in their boots and their scarf and their hoodies and everything, and you see me, you're going to be like, where did she come from? Did she just step off a plane?
Yes. She's out of season. Absolutely, I am.
I'm not. It's summer until September 21st.
Yes. I feel like I feel like it went by so fast. There's still so much I wanted to do.
I know. So, and that's the problem is we're doing so much that the time is going so quickly.
Yes. Yes.
And in a good way.
Yes. So I don't, it is what it is. I'm not,
You're not melancholy.
I'm not going to. I don't think about it. I'm like, today's a sunny day. It's warm. It's this. I do. And I'm like, yeah, I'm
yeah, I have to think that way too.
I'm not going to get into the fall.
I panicked about the calendar.
Yes.
I was in the calendar today. I was like, oh God, oh no.
So we've actually had some warm weather up and even into October. We've had some, we have that little Indian summer here and there. But I feel like last September was a really nice weather too.
Yeah. Well, thank you for tuning in for a Friday edition of Lisa and Robyn on the Mic. You're listening on WSMN 1590 AM, 95.3 FM. You can watch, stream, and listen. We hope you subscribe on both Facebook and YouTube. We love you, and we will see you next Thursday. Have a great week.
Using software to help landlords. This is ABC News.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help